Alright, so we're going to do a VOD review of your submission to the Rainbow Six Siege Academy subreddit. I'm a Platinum 3 player, Old Man Fender. Um, Obviously, ranks bounce up and down, but that's kind of where I have been mostly and where I feel like I belong. Um, anyway, I have experience on Xbox and PC, and hopefully I can, give you something useful. I'm not the best player in the world by any means, but I think I can at least explain things and notice patterns well enough to maybe help you out. So we're going to watch this at 1.5 speed so that the video just doesn't take as long. First thing, team comps. I'm going to pause for this. Thermite is the right pick here with the operators you have, but not the ideal pick overall. And that definitely contributed to your sense that you didn't know how to accomplish the things you wanted to accomplish. And so when we talk about having a plan, your plan is something you work out in advance. It's kind of like a schema for how the round should go. In essence, it's the minimum amount of work that you need to do to get the diffuser down and to force the defense to come to you instead of having to engage them on their terms. And then the other component to it is like the number of things that you know how to exploit that makes your job easier. So like if you know, okay, they've got a vigil who's gonna try and do runouts while we're on the repels. How do I exploit that? I play IQ and scan around and watch and cover people who are on the repels, and I know exactly where he's coming from. Or I know that they like to sit in this spot to bandit tricks, so I'm going to wall bang it or whatever. You can get those little tricks that make it easier to kill somebody, and those ways of solving problems that the defense puts in your way. So like I want to plant in mining when they're playing mining in dining hall, but they've got a mirror inside of trains. How do I deal with that mirror? And there's that list of tricks, right? You can kill it with Twitch, you can kill it from above with vertical destruction, with a Buck, Ash, Sophia, Sledge, even anyone with a breaching charge, even just shoot out the floor. You can, blow up the hatch, then throw candelas in as Ying. You can just smoke in front of the mirror and then come in from the other hallway and plant behind the mining rigs where they can't see you. You've got to know as many different ways of dealing with those problems that they put in front of you as possible. And that kind of informs the minimum amount of work that you have to do in order to get the plant down and to kind of turn things in your favor in terms of who's setting the terms of engagement. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. That might just be a bunch of useless prattling, but it's kind of, you need a plan that's flexible, that knows kind of what your operator can do and what your operator can't do. And one of the problems with Thermite is that he can struggle to entry frag, to kind of be dynamic, to make things happen. He's critical utility in a lot of cases, and in this one, it would be hard to attack the site without some hard destruction. But at the same time, because your teammates die a lot and like they don't really apply their resources in the right places, it definitely makes your job more difficult. And it would not be the worst idea for you to try some other operators who are, more entry frag compatible. So I like that you're looking for spawn peaks. You got the camera. You probably would have died if that alibi was a real person, because I think that was just a blind face check. This face of the building is a little bit more dangerous to rappel up. I just want to point that out real quick. If they jump out of cafe, or excuse me, out of bakery to the west, you literally can't turn around far enough for you to shoot back at them. So even if they get detected and you hear them, like they can kill you there. And you have to deal with all the windows. If you rappel on the north face, it's a lot safer. And when you're playing Thermite, I'd say that's important. Jackal gets spawn peeked because he's a doofus. I like that you're using your drone to kind of figure out where people are. At this point, you need to start directing your team's resources, though. So Blitz is already in, and you're droning for him, and that's good. However, you want the hatch open by this point in the round. Jackal had the shotgun for soft destruction that you probably needed, so that sucks, but like your Blackbeard should be up there opening the hatch with you. And that's something you can start talking about even in prep phase. Like, hey, we know they're going to be either top floor or second floor. In either case, we want that, we want that hatch open. It's a much safer way to get into the third floor than basically anything else. This guy just ran up the stairs or something, probably. Anyway, continuing on, you drone that guy. Your call out was there's a guy in piano. you could have been more specific. I think it's okay that you were cautious here, but you get this unfortunate situation where help was not able to come for Blitz fast enough, and he was not given the precise location of the alibi. So while she dies, she takes Blitz with her, which is unfortunate because he was your only other smoke grenade op. Okay, so let's talk structures now. Planting and mining requires you to deal with the mirror. You can assume that Doc is in trains as well. You don't know where the third person is. How can your team neutralize the mirror and get the plant down, or at least the threat of the plant down in mining? What resources do you have? Well, first, how do you not get murdered by the third unknown person who may or may not be roaming? Get your claymore down on red stairs. That watches one of your two flanks. There's only two flanks. It's the white stairs and the red stairs. If you get that claymore down, I'm sorry, that sounded aggressive. I'm talking over myself, and I was mad because I was doing a poor job of explaining it. The claymore goes on red stairs. It at least gives you an audio cue if someone tries to come by it, because they'll shoot it, it'll blow up. You get that very distinctive claymore exploding sound. That frees up you and Lion to both play the hatch and the holes in the ground that you're going to make, and Blackbeard to watch the rotation up the white stairs. Minute and 15 isn't a ton of time, but it's enough for you to open up the floor above the mirror with one of your thermite charges and potentially get the hatch. Personally, I would actually go with the one that gives you access to shoot the mirrors more so than the hatch, because dropping the hatch is like, it doesn't give you that much. You don't have anyone with flashbangs as far as I know, at least that you can realistically expect to actually use them. So they're going to see your feet while you drop through that well before your face comes into the picture and you can shoot back at them. So dropping the hatch is basically suicide in this situation. So instead, you want to get the floor open, destroy the mirrors, and then have Lion go down red stairs and plant behind the mining rig. So you get in this unfortunate situation though, where because multiple things have to be watched and no one's helping you with the hatch, your thermite thing gets destroyed. And like, I've been there too. I get it. Your teammates don't always cooperate with what you're trying to do, but hindsight or vision of someone else is 20/20. You need to be calling that out and trying to direct their resources. And if they don't do it, they don't do it. But your voice is not heard a lot, and it's possible that you giving them good directions about what you need will be more fruitful. Because you lost one of your thermite charges that you could have used to deal with the mirror, and now you're stuck here. Like, you have to drone, try and find that guy. You didn't really need to drone that, honestly. Like, you had Lion covering red stairs and the other guy covering white stairs. And you didn't drone to see if anyone was on the mirrors to prevent the plant mining. It just, yeah, the resource allocation was a little bit off, and if you're able to take control of the mirrors, then you get the plant down and mining, basically for free. Because Lion still had at least one E1D, I think, that would have covered it. Okay, we're just going to skip ahead. We've got some dock. I like that you're wanting to get that reinforced. That's a good spot. Also, I like that you're making sure that even if they do manage to get into the piano room, they're not getting a ton of value out of it because they still have to breach into the freezer to really get into the bomb sites. Playing in here is a good idea. So, okay, you've got all those windows on that side. A couple of extra windows behind the minibar. And we're going to pause real quick right here. Okay. This right here is a really strong position that people call pixel spot. Rook might have been a good choice over Doc because Rook can throw an impact grenade that blows up this cabinet and this bench and allows him to wedge himself really well into the corner. So you can create a pixel gap between this wall and this wall to deal with this window. Or people coming in from the red stairs through the reinforcements if they manage to breach it with a Bonner or Thermite. You can use this wall and this wall to get a pixel angle into the cigar shop area. Again, most common place of entry for sure. You get a pixel angle off of that, absolutely destroy them. If you don't know exactly how a pixel angle works, I can link you Serenity 17's video explaining how that works. It's really excellent and really, really useful. People often misunderstand it. Anyway, that pixel spot is really, really powerful because you can also check Whitehall on the other side and you can at least fast peek onto people coming in on the piano. If you're in this spot, where you are right now, you can kind of get wall banged through the old couch. I would point out that if you can get on the outside cams in the first 15 seconds of the round, that can be really, really useful. There's no way they're going to shoot you when you're lying down here in the first 15 seconds. And, you can get an idea of which operators they have, where they're spawning, what they might be trying to do. You don't want to bet your life's fortune on, like, oh, they spawned here, so they must be doing this strategy. But you can at least get, a concept of what's going to happen. I like that you do check your cams, and that you don't watch any angle for, like, 30 seconds at a time. You check it, and you get off of it, and you check it again later. I think that's definitely a very underrated thing that people tend to mess up, and that you're doing a very good job of. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit. You get to this point, right, where Bandit comes to help you here. You guys end up trading out some kills on this spot. And for some reason, you seem to get uncomfortable with being in this position playing with Bandit. And you decide to sprint out. And I'm just not sure what you were trying to get by sprinting down this hallway, because you get killed by the buck. You'd been checking that staircase really well earlier, just, every 5 seconds. Quick peek it, whatever. Just keep doing that and watch that, because if you're watching the white stairs, but ready to help Bandit, and Bandit is ready to help you, then they don't get into piano. They don't get up white stairs, they don't get through the cigar lounge. You guys have that kind of covered. Then Legion and Frost get to watch the windows on the east side and the hatch. And if you get killed, Frost knows there's a guy at white stairs, and she can push up and fast peek him, just like she ended up doing. So you guys get kind of the really good crossfires if you stay in that pixel spot, rather than kind of getting uncomfortable that you've got another teammate around you and feeling like you need to flush. I feel like I saw that a lot, where you'd see a teammate was near you and just kind of feel like you needed to rotate and kind of run around instead of sitting down and playing the position where your operator belongs and maintaining crossfires with your team. Okay, driving your drone back to you. Really good. Smart. I like it. Once again, we've got, you're checking the spawn peaks. A little bit dangerous on the west side here, but it's fine. They're playing top floor this time, so again, that hatch matters. Same guy dies to a spawn peak. That's unfortunate. So here, I like the idea with the first drone, but you get off of it. At least I think you got off of it, and then it got shot. So there's no one under there. I'm not sure what you're trying to get from this second drone, and at this point, your resource allocation should be getting that hatch open, getting the red stairs controlled, and getting the claymore down there so that you don't have to worry about flanks up the red stairs. Now your lion is he just got the claymore there. Not sure how you didn't see him here, because you're about to pop him in the face. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Excellent shot, however, against the wrong team. And then your Blackbeard, who didn't bother opening this hole, apparently has breaching charges now and is going to open the hole there. Okay, so here, Lion got a kill with that claymore down at the bottom. That's the claymore that you should be replacing right now, because it frees you up. It gives you a lot of freedom to act up here. Would definitely recommend doing that. Your claymore utilization was almost 0, as far as I know, in this match. And the claymore is just a very powerful tool. Thank you. And Cav is even actually going to come up here later, and you're going to kill her, but you would have saved yourself a little bit of trouble if you had claymored it. So here, yeah, just the lack of effective resource allocation is kind of what created this problem, where you're forced to plant late. This is the right spot to plant. But then you go over here, and the pressure from the piano room would have come earlier, probably, and you put yourself right on that soft wall that they could spam through and hit you. It's kind of unlucky that they did, right? But you could have positioned yourself just a little bit better, probably, and you kind of have to assume that the pressure is going to be coming from the east side. because that's where Doc was seen on the drone, right? That's the one piece of information you got out of the 2 drones that you threw down there. The Doc is playing over there, and you know Maestro had just been shooting at you from his cam, so he felt comfortable wherever he was, you know, using his drone rather than fighting, which implies that he's probably on the east side as well, next to Doc, where Doc can cover him, and that's why he felt comfortable being on his drone at that point. Okay, I have no idea what you're trying to get out of that camera. Admittedly, you wanted to reinforce that. You want to reinforce hatch. Your prep phases, Doc, here is definitely interrupted by your teammates deciding to do God knows what. I don't think you checked the northwest corner of Cigar Lounge, and if that was reinforced, but that's a good place to reinforce. You can basically play this site just like the other one and play in the pixel spot. That allows you to check Whitehall, Cigar Shop, and all the windows at the same time. And if you ever rotate into bathroom, you can even get out of there fairly quickly to watch the hatch. Again, Rook, pretty good at that. Would highly recommend him. So let's see. I don't think much of interest happens this entire round. Yeah. It's a little bit brave on some of these peaks, but they're fine. Eventually you get here with Abana and maintain the crossfire. And this is pretty good. I do think you could have been a little bit closer so that she was forced to kind of fight you and then get traded out instead of being able to run across that barbed wire, but it's kind of not a big deal. Let's see. Alright, okay, yeah, so this is the one where they had to play Kitchen Bakery. It's the only site left for them. They won the other 2. You've got Glaz, Jackal, good, smokes, Dokkaebi, smokes, Lion helps with plant, good. Thermite is actually not doing a whole lot for you here. Unless you want to get into the freezer, which based on your spawn and what you did in the round, I don't think you were trying to do at all. I would go for either IQ to deal with Legion Mines, and technically still be able to throw frags at Maestro's Evil Eye, or ideally Ash to deal with the Evil Eye, because they've played Maestro every round. The Evil Eye is the main problem that you're going to encounter with trying to do a smoke plant, and you would have a really good opportunity over here on actually the main door to the southwest, because look, they reinforce one of the walls. I think I skipped over it. They reinforced one of the walls over there, and you can actually plant against the reinforcement if you destroy the Maestros there. Because here, this is still a pretty decent plant spot, but you end up getting murdered by your own Jackal there. Real quick, what I would have done there, I think, is actually just challenged the... So if you just challenge the west hallway off of this, like, they know you're here, right? If you challenge the west hallway and then go up the stairs, you can help with the jump outs from the second floor, which are kind of your main risk right now, because your Jackal is already kind of playing that. Your life means very little at this point, but at the very least it can help with what Jackal just had to deal with, the people jumping out on the second floor. Because that Ella could have got a double kill just as easily as she got murdered, as she died there. This would also not be a bad place for you, where you can kind of sit and bait. Yeah, I just make sure you're paying attention to which sites are available to the other team, and again, having that plan of like, we know that the plant is really easy on this site. What are the main primary problems that the other team could put in our way that I can deal with? And in that case, it's very much the Maestro. Okay, here, Doc has the ACOG. You know you're playing Kitchen Bakery. The ACOG doesn't hurt, however, you want indirect plant denial. So smoke here paired with Mira is really, really effective, and in my opinion, you really needed the smoke. What's going to happen? They're going to plant on the southwest door with the glass covering it. Because you guys don't have a thermal camera facing that part of the door, you don't know exactly where he is, so you can't wallbang him from the mirror. You don't have enough destruction, like your Mira for some reason isn't making all the kill holes that they need. The advantage to smoke here is that you need a shit ton of kill holes on the site, frankly. So smoke's extra shotgun is really good. So right now you're doing the shuffle. just running around to all sorts of different places. If instead you were playing where this Mira is, with smoke, shooting out the walls above so that you can throw smoke grenades over them, and then just kind of committing to playing this mirror, I think you would have been in a much better position. So you could open up a throwing lane next to this mirror. Crap. Try and get the right pause. Okay. Yeah, so if you shoot out the walls like right here and right here, when you hear that smoke go off, you can toss your smokes into the smoke cloud when you hear them trying to plant from up here. Having the wall open also makes the audio cue more clear. So yeah, you see that cloud. Echo cannot do that on his own. He just doesn't have enough charges to stop them from planting forever. So you guys get the trades, but then their glass destroys you from outside the west window. And there's just nothing you can do to deal with him once he's out there and that plant is down in that corner. So yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'd just say get the smoke. Smoke is the man, and get used to using smoke. Okay, so I think you played really well in this round, and I definitely like you on the mute. I think having a faster operator is definitely beneficial for you. Now, admittedly, your first, let's see, 15, 20 seconds of this round, you didn't get any of your utility down, and when mute has 6 things to place, you gotta be a little bit faster than that. Like I said, sometimes your teammates just don't cooperate with what you want to do, and you don't get everything down. It happens. Start with your mute jammers. You know, run straight to the fireplace hall wall and start reinforcing that. Just get mute jammers down as fast as you can. Get things in places where they add some sort of value. Getting up here, that's a really important mute. Excuse me, I definitely like that one. And you're going to kind of establish upstairs control here. Your teammates are forcing you to do the shuffle. But this time, as you're rotating, instead of sprinting, you listen, and you go slow, and you get ready to ADS, and you kill that guy. So now the diffuser's down there, and now the round starts to get really great. This is awesome. So you know the diffuser's there, and you go and take this reading room position. Reading room is an important position for this map because if they plant, because it's a relatively easy site to plant, you can rotate back and help. You can rotate back and help if they try and plant in B. You can C4 this wall, shoot through it, or shoot through it and C4. There's lots of options for you when you're playing inside of reading room. This is a pretty good position. They also have options to try and fight you, but what's different about this round and why you start playing way better right now is you're saying, yeah, you guys have to fight me. My shot is good. I'll fight any of you one-on-one. And all of a sudden now you're being really productive because you're like, you know where they have to fight you, and you're saying, yeah, let's have a fight. I'm going to win it. And you don't just stand there and hold angles and let yourself get peeked and give up peeker's advantage. You're aware of the drones. This is all really good. Because he's in that bathroom, you can't quite get up there and pre-fire him without him hearing you coming, so I think it was smart that you played back there and at least broke LOS a lot. If not, you know, you could get spammed through those soft walls. Which is a bit of a risk, but as these things go, it could be worse. You could also go over here and say, like, this is going to be my position and reinforce it up for yourself a little bit. So, like, one here, one over here that you can play off of for these 2 entrances to the room. Say those are both good decisions, excuse me. So you heard the boom mine go off. Didn't shoot your Legion, that's good. But yeah, that round, way better. You're playing a single position instead of kind of shuffling around all the time, and because you're not shuffling around all the time, you don't miss them coming through your opportunities to hit them. Okay. So you were back on the attack. I think this is another just bad resource allocation round. So line's gonna get peaked from down here in bakery. I always say cafeteria. Line gets wrecked in bakery, they run away. I like that you repel up the north face this time because you're uncomfortable shows me that you do actually know what's going on over there, which is great. Fortunately, no one comes up to help you on the roof. Okay, so here's the problem I see. Twitch, Zofia, playing Windows. Your entry frag needs to be up here with you so you can get in. Twitch, again, not technically an entry frag, but needs relative safety to use her drones to get value. Blackbeard, the best operator for playing Windows, is not playing the Windows. Blackbeard is alone over here to the west. He's screwed. Because if you're repelling on these windows, you die if no one's supporting you. Your Claymore is not down to protect him, and even if it was, it would not be adequate to protect him from the 900 different windows over there. So Blackbeard should be over here. Twitch should be just covering Blackbeard. Zofia should be with you. You guys opening hatch, getting down, getting in somehow. Opening up Cigar, going in Cigar, blowing him up with the concussions, etc., etc. Then breaching the freezer and planting behind the bar. Okay, your first drone here. You get some info. Then I think you just wind up on this wild goose chase. Yeah, so let's even speed this up. Basically nothing happens this entire round because the resource allocation is just not there at all. At a certain point you just kind of have to say, Blackbeard is doomed, he's throwing this round, and I'm going to open the hatch. And again, you didn't really do anything to direct traffic of your teammates. With 1 minute and 9 seconds, you do not have time to go and save this Blackbeard. You get stranded, the diffuser's lost. And poor Twitch has been hanging on this window for so long, and I think she kills like 3 people. Yep, that's a... Twitch got a bunch of kills, but was just stuck standing there for too long. So at this point, Doc was last seen east side. Again, Maestro, we know he was on cams. He's probably east side. Pushing back here loses like half of your time. Yeah, I don't know. It was a tough situation, but your best chance might have been to just challenge straight into the bar. At least had a little bit more time to kind of quick peek and do stuff. And sometimes you're gonna lose that battle, and it's just it happens. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but walking all the way around there and potentially walking into another Ela mine was maybe a bit of a mistake. Minor mechanical mistake. Okay, let's see. We're muting things. I think this is the round where you play really well again on mute because, right, you sit down in this critical room and you're just like, nope, y'all have to fight me. If you want to get in piano, you got to go through me first. And that's a good thing to do with mute because he gets all of his utility down early in the round. And as your operators go, he and Ela are the 2 most expendable. Mira needs time for her C4. Excuse me. And, she's the best last line of defense against the plant, Smoke. His gadget becomes more valuable over time. Legion literally generates more of his gadgets over time. You and Ela are kind of the fighters. And so this suits your playstyle much better, I think. Because now you're kind of checking in on these angles one at a time. Backing down instead of just holding it and standing out in space. Although, again, because you don't know about the pixel spot apparently, you are kind of standing out in space. As a general principle, I'd say never play in front of a mirror. But because this mirror is placed in kind of an inexplicable location, then this is actually decent. But yeah, I like that you're kind of like, I don't care if Vigil's like, or Smoke or whoever. Yeah, Smoke, oh goodness. Smoke was playing there. Smoke can make whatever bad decision he wants, right? Like, I'm going to play this position. And again, now you've got that guy down. That was maybe a little bit brave. But again, I like that you're not just standing on this angle for an extremely long time. You're just kind of checking in on it every once in a while. Maintaining the crossfire there. I do think it's weird. Okay. You never used your Claymore for the rest of this match, but you do know to use your C4 there. And that's surprising to me because most people are like all or nothing with their gadgets. They either really understand that like their gadgets are X% of their value, whatever it is, as an operator on the field. And then there are people who just completely ignore them. And it's good that you at least have awareness of what it is and how to use it. And maybe that's just you don't play Thermite a lot and you aren't used to kind of Claymore positioning. That could be it. But if you can get the same value out of your Claymore that you got out of the C4 consistently, again, that's going to add a lot for you. You might get as many as 20% more kills if you're just very consistent about using frags well, using C4 as well, using Claymore as well. Because if the average game, it goes 6 rounds, if you get 1 kill per round on average, then 1 C4 or Claymore kill per game is 20% of your productivity, 15% of your productivity. You can get a lot of value out of that. Again, it looks like you do understand how pixel angles work, so you just don't know about how to get in pixel spot, which is good. And I think you will definitely be able to leverage that well in the future. So yeah, hopefully that helps you. I think you did a really good job most of the time of making sure your drones were kept alive and picking an operator who would be helpful for the site. Again, most of the time. Not every single time, as evidenced by the kitchen bakery, but yeah, it was pretty good. You can definitely rank up, especially with your shot. So make sure you're trying to get on operators that fit with you and that fit with what your team needs to do, more so, and what your team needs to do in practice, more so than what your team needs to do in theory. So like that Thermite was theoretically pretty good, but in practice, you might have even just been better off on Ash or Twitch a lot of that time, because Twitch can neutralize mirrors, or Sledge can get the soft destruction going. That might often be more important than the hard destruction for getting rid of those mirror windows. And then on defense, yeah, maybe some of the faster ops, maybe Rook for the impact grenades a little bit more often than Doc. And then with your communication, make sure you're giving out specific locations with your callouts, and at least trying, like putting a significant amount of effort into coordinating your team's resources and saying, Blackbeard, do you have breaching charges? Can you open the hatch for me? Etc., etc. The little things like that can go a long way towards kind of making sure that you don't have to use your resources in a suboptimal manner. So hopefully that helps. Thanks. Bye.